The Batman Arkham games single-handedly revolutionized modern superhero gaming and even arguably just modern gaming in general. Rocksteady were in their bag when crafting these games. You could just tell how passionate they were about the Batman mythos from the comics and Batman the Animated Series, going as far as getting the voice cast from the animated series like Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill, riddled with Easter eggs and important Batman characters to please the diehard fans and a fun dynamic gameplay mechanic to please average gamers as well. You want to know why Batman's my favorite fictional character of all time? Blame Rocksteady for cooking too much with the Arkham trilogy. I've replayed Arkham City in an unhealthy amount of times in my lifetime.
It is a masterpiece, James. Complete, comprehensive.
I generally wonder what type of superhero comic fan I would be if it wasn't for these games coming out when I was growing up. The 4 Arkham games are my babies for real, and I don't want to see any major slander on these titles. Any of y'all who think any of these games are bad or downright awful is on site. Like, we legitimately have to box so you can get a bat-themed butt whooping. And while the 4 main Arkham games are pretty much beloved by most people, there were a couple that received a bit, not a detrimental amount, but just a little backlash when they first came out. That being Batman Arkham Origins and Batman Arkham Knight, especially Arkham Knight. When it came to being compared to the praise of Asylum and City, these games were getting cooked, I'm not gonna lie. I remember back in the day when Origins was getting crapped on and Arkham Knight facing the usual complaints like the Batmobile and the game's narrative. Now, the backlash at first for these games were definitely nowhere near the negative reception for games like Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League when they first came out. It was more so a sense of disappointment from some fans, but to think any one of the 4 games are bad in any way is crazy work. Like, you gotta be smoking some real good kush at that point. To this day, the fact that there hasn't been a single remaster or re-release of Batman Arkham Origins should be considered as a federal crime. The game is legit the neglected middle child of the Arkham series. I would see constant sales on game stores with Batman Arkham Collection, with the Return to Arkham remaster for Arkham Asylum and City, along with the premium edition of Arkham Knight. The collection even got re-released for the Nintendo Switch, but Arkham Origins? Nah, they say I don't want to play with y'all at. They'd be doing this game so dirty by not giving it the attention it deserves. And was the backlash for this game warranted or valid when it released in 2013? No, not really. You see, since it was going to take a little while for Rocksteady to craft their next game after Arkham City, that being Arkham Knight, WB Games Montreal was tasked to make Origins to serve as a prequel to the series with a year 2 Batman to help with the 4-year gap between the release of Arkham City and Arkham Knight. And since they had only had like 2 years or so to develop the game, WB Montreal essentially Control-C, Control-V to the game code from Arkham City, which is why it plays so similarly to that game. Many of the criticisms of Origins back then were how very little it varied or innovated the gameplay mechanics that were present in Arkham City, and it also started the complaint of the Joker oversaturation in this series, with the Joker being revealed as Black Mask.
It's been you this whole time. You hired the assassins. You've been running Sionis' operation.
Well, technically it's my operation now. Isn't that right, boys?
And I remember at launch that game had some bugs and annoying glitches, and I think some of the issues lie with the open world and content after beating the main game. Now, since this plays the same as Arkham City, the traversal is the same with the speed and grapple boost and the gliding mechanic, but the problem is that they made the map size bigger, so it makes it a bit sluggish to traverse throughout the map, especially the main bridge that you have to go through. I mean, there are literally sections of the Arkham City map that were just put into this game's overall world map. But hey, at least it has fast travel, and being able to go to the Batcave is pretty cool. The side content in this game just isn't as memorable as the side content in City and Night, even as far as the Riddler, or I guess the Enigma data packs, which don't feel rewarding at all when you end up collecting all of the actual Enigma data packs, as you just end up grabbing an actual Riddler trophy as a cool little nod at the end. That's not to say all the side missions were meh. The Shiva and Deadshot missions were solid, as well as the Mad Hatter mission, but some of them were just recycled from Arkham City, like the Black Mass canisters just being the Titan containers from Arkham City. There were some cool added features like the crime reports, which would be just random crimes that would happen around the map, as well as a slightly revamped detective mode that allowed you to rewind or fast forward. But with all that said, this game is still fire and the story is straight gas. The Christmas setting, the boss fights, the entire premise alone is super intriguing, with 8 assassins trying to collect a $50 million bounty to kill Batman. The soundtrack is arguably the best out of the 4 games. This game, hands down, easily has the best interpretation of Bane outside of comics and anything Batman related. Movies, TV shows, games, cartoons, it doesn't matter. They cooked with this Bane. This version just has the perfect blend of physicality and being an absolute menace and being cold and calculated.
All right, meeting's adjourned. Get out there and kill the bat. Move it along, big boy.
No, he's coming for you now. And when he gets here, I'm going to kill him. So you wait.
Nice of you to drop in. And just in time.
He's mine, Payaso.
Remember, you gave your word.
You have 1 minute.
1 minute later.
I've long waited for this moment. With your death, I will find peace.
Knows who I am. You're not safe at Wayne Manor.
Alfred, I am in your house. Bruce, Bane, come home. Say your goodbyes. Once you've had time to turn grief to anger, then you'll be ready to face me. I have left enough life in him for some final words. If you hurry. Alfred!
And brother, that TN1 Bane boss fight had me quaking in my boots when I was younger. 4th grade me was not about that life when playing it for the first time.
My dog to your advantage. Sir, it appears the jamming mechanism.
Roger Craig Smith as Batman and Troy Baker as the Joker both do a superb job in voicing these characters. I honestly wouldn't mind if they became the main voices for these characters going forward in future adaptations. This Batman being younger and more rash goes into problems deep in raw, no pause. He be getting straight to business, bro, wastes no time.
Your boss, where's he going?
Boss of me is me.
I want teeth. I want answers.
Wait till Black Mask's assassins get through with you.
What assassin?
Whoever wins is gonna be famous and rich.
At least we know he won't be ugly.
Get away! Where's the Penguin?
I don't know.
Where is he?
I swear.
Damn.
Wake up.
What happened?
Time to talk. Where's Cobblepot?
Let me go!
If you insist.
Please, stop! Stop! I'll talk. I'll tell you anything you want to know, please!
Too late. I already have what I need.
No!
Must you be so brutal, sir? These are city employees.
They're as corrupt as they come, and they're in my way.
I wish you'd think twice about that approach, sir. You never know when you might need their help.
It's over, Slade.
What are you?
Who wants to show me where the Penguin is?
We can't forget that iconic all-timer of a scene between Batman and Alfred in the Batcave.
Master Bruce, stop! Master Bruce,
Bruce,
I will not in good conscience allow you to go. You're outmatched by these assassins.
what?
You're not some hardened vigilante. You're a young man with a trust fund and too much anger. You're in over your head, and I don't want this to be your end.
Alfred, who do you see when you look at me? The boy whose shoes you used to tie every morning? The teenager you drove to his first date? While you are here every night, I am out there. The only thing between the innocent and the predator.
Be.
No, not maybe. I am. When the mugger or the thief stops to think twice, that is fear. That is what I am. That is why they hired assassins, because I am the reason the criminals breathe easier when the sun rises. So no, Alfred, I am not in over my head. Tonight will not be my end, but it will be theirs.
And the boss fights? Don't even get me started on the boss fights. I feel like I shouldn't even have to say anything. The Deathstroke boss fight is the most famous example people use when conveying the fact that the boss fights in this game are so good. But hear me out just a little bit, okay? Alright, walk with me. Alright, don't cook me for this, but I think the Deathstroke boss fight is just a tad, just a smidge, just a little overrated. Alright, now hear me out. The boss fight is fire, right? It's good. I just think some folk hype it up a bit too much, because the boss ain't really all that difficult. It's just countering at the right time, which doesn't take much effort. Not to mention the fact that the boss fight directly copied elements from the Ra's al Ghul boss fight in Arkham City. I really like some of the DLC in this game, with some of the challenge maps and the initiation DLC where you play as a younger Bruce training in Korea with combat and stealth missions leading up to a Lady Shiva boss fight. Cold Heart DLC is easily one of the best DLC stories in this series, with Mr. Freeze as the antagonist. The fact that there are some folk who have the audacity to claim Arkham Origins isn't canon is just peak delusion. The story for this game is literally acknowledged in Arkham Knight in a multitude of ways through dialogue and Easter eggs.
To slap the shit out you, nigga. Saying that stupid ass shit. Dumbass nigga.
The multiplayer component in this game, I think, if refined and retooled a bit, could have been a decent blueprint on how to incorporate multiplayer elements in games similar to Batman Arkham, as it was pretty cool to encounter Batman and Robin via the lens of different thug factions like the Joker or Bane's gang. It's safe to say that many people recognize the greatness of this game to the point it's become an echo chamber to state that Batman Arkham Origins is underrated. I think it's pretty accurate to say that Arkham Knight had more harsh feedback at launch compared to when Arkham Origins released. The expectations for this game were astronomically high, with it being the final installment of this series. The marketing for this game had fans hyped to absurd degrees, being able to use the Batmobile, trailers highlighting the presence of different villains working together, Scarecrow and the Arkham Knight significance, and the whole shebang on the possible identity of the Arkham Knight. Theories were going rampant, but everybody and their mama knew it was Jason Todd. Talking about the Arkham Knight is a completely original character.
So that was a fucking lie.
I remember some of the trailers doing just straight up clickbait showing moments of Batman, Nightwing, and Robin working together, but that never really happened in the game. Come to think of it, I don't think Nightwing and Tim Drake Robin have ever even interacted with one another in the Arkham series or shared screen time. The closest thing we got was a stealth challenge map in Arkham Knight called High Flyers, which is set in Stag's airship. The initial backlash stemmed from a couple of things, firstly being the really bad PC launch for this game. It was so bad with the amount of refunds being issued on Steam. The game was just super buggy on that platform, and we all know about the infamous complaints on the Batmobile and how people think it overstayed its welcome. While I do think there are more Batmobile tank missions than there should be, I think people were exaggerating a bit. I mean, that boy Aqua literally pointed out how the Batmobile was literally only used for like 20% of the game or something like that. I won't lie, Arkham Knight does have the weakest story out of the main four. The Arkham Knight reveal was way too predictable, even if you're not a diehard Batman comic psycho nerd. The Jason Todd flashbacks just made it way too obvious. I think the most tedious section of the main story on any replay is the Cloudburst section and the section surrounding it. It's not difficult or anything, but it's just a bit of a chore to get through, especially with those Cobra tanks. Like, it's just a bit weird to be doing stealth missions with the Batmobile. The boss fights in this game aren't even noteworthy, to be honest. Most of them aren't even fights. They were either Batmobile gameplay segments, chase sequences, or in the case of the Arkham Knight boss fight, just a freaking Predator mission. Deathstrokes is probably the most disappointing, as it's literally just a repurposed Cloudburst tank boss fight with the Cobra tanks and everything. And all that hype just to take out each individual militia checkpoint across the open world just for Batman to take him out in one punch.
That was a bit anticlimactic.
As per Arkham tradition, the Riddler is one of the most insufferable aspects of the game, with the absurd amount of riddles to solve and trophies to collect that unfortunately require the use of the Batmobile for some of them. I remember seeing the requirements to defeat Riddler talking about some 243 riddles to solve. My immediate reaction was like, damn, wallahi, I'm finished. But I gotta thank the GOAT himself, Batman Arkham videos. I would not be able to collect them trophies in any of these 3 games without him.
You fooled him. Even I thought you were him.
I am him.
Yeah, I know, I cheated. Sue me. Some of the villains aren't really tied together well, as they kind of just do their own thing and not get involved in the main game. Some of the side mission plot lines that continued the plot lines from Arkham City were severely underwhelming, like Hush. It's literally just a mission where you press the counter button once and he's just done for.
My face! I tried to kill myself.
The DLC Arkham episodes were way too short, with most of them averaging around 10 minutes or so to complete, aside from the Batgirl Matter of a Family DLC. However, with all that being said, guess what? The game is still fire. Hands down the best gameplay of the entire series. They were somehow capable of improving the already effective free flow combat from Arkham City. The fear multi-takedowns and the ability to switch between different characters in certain missions like Batman and Nightwing, Batman and Catwoman, or Batman and Robin.
I won.
Graphically, this game is just gorgeous. I genuinely don't know how they made the game comparable to games that are coming out even to this day in current gen consoles. Playing this on PC in 4K 90 FPS always got me acting up for real. The character models in this game are something else. Them boys at Rocksteady were locked in, because this game, and honestly just the Arkham series in general, got some fine mamacitas, you know what I'm saying? I swear. Arkham Harley and Catwoman alone have made some of them Arkham fanboys delve into levels of degeneracy.
Just give me 3.5 minutes, maybe even 4. She'll be wanting to marry a nigga.
Can you give me a 360? God damn, nah.
Out the Miami,
One more 360? God.
She kinda bad though. Is that Frost?
Honestly, I find myself coming back to casually playing this game the most out of the 4 games, casually just to play some challenge maps with the sheer amount of different playable characters and challenge maps to choose from. Combat wise, I find myself playing like Crime Alley or Monarch Theater the most, with the occasional Iceberg Lounge here and there. The mods for this game go insanely hard. The mod brothers did not need to cook this much. They made a whole mod where there are portraits of Kevin Conroy and Wayne Tower.
That's what I'm talking about. This shit means something to me, man.
The Batman cartoon mod goes stupid. It's insanely hard. There's just so many different options to choose from in terms of mods. It's honestly insane. Why do I have this character suit mod downloaded to my PC? Am I stupid?
I need that. I fucking need that. Post haste. Lickety split. I need that.
As the game serves as the ending to this 4-game-long journey or story, I think it's effective at conveying the emotional weight, with Batman having to say goodbye to his allies and embark a new journey in enacting a new type of fear into the hearts of criminals now that his identity had been exposed by Scarecrow. It serves as a good send-off to this character, at least in my opinion, because there has been absolutely no attempt at a continuation of this universe that would most certainly not undermine and ruin the impact of Arkham Knight's ending, and character assassinate the main character in this franchise in ways that should be deemed illegal. Thank God that never happened. When I get my hands on you niggas at Rocksteady, I swear when I see y'all, it's on site, boy. When I catch you, Rocksteady.
Ricky, when I catch you, Ricky. Ricky, when I catch you, Ricky.
Even though it may not be deemed worthy of the same tier of quality as Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, Origins and Knight are still some of the best playable experiences in my book. The Arkham formula is just too good. I mean, if they wanted to, WB could have milked the hell out of this franchise, but I'm kind of glad they didn't. I would have preferred to live in a timeline where the Batman Beyond game by WB Montreal actually came into fruition. To this day, you have folk playing Arkham Knight. I mean, hell, there are more people playing Arkham Knight on PC than freaking Suicide Squad. And if you disrespect these games in any major way by calling them trash or overrated, name the time and location, because nigga, we are going to box. We have to fight. That's just how way it is.
Maybe I can give them something to believe in. Maybe he can give them something to believe in.